I'm asking for a reason. Is this an unattractive man? Is what I'm asking. Okay, because there's actually a giant debate about this right now. Okay, I'm going to play you, actually, let me play you the full video. This individual kayaking on a beautiful day in the country. Is this, in fact, a man? This person's name is Hannah Barron. Hannah Barron is somebody that I, didn't follow, but who I've begun following because of a little bit of a controversy.
And we are live.
Verbal or life.
And we are live. How's it going, everybody? It's Noel over here, battling MS. And I'm trying to go live every day. I'm trying to change my channel here and be more vociferous or talk a little more, let you guys know my opinion and what's going on out there. So the goal is to go live every day around from 12 to 1. Today I was able to go on now, which is like 12:30. Thank you for joining us. I'm trying to get more subscribers, and thank you for all the new subscribers. We're up to 1,613. So we're doing great. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and on that like button so like that more people can hear this message. And there's a lot of news going on, and I just want to share with you guys what's happening out there. Let's start with Meet the Press. I was watching Meet the Press this weekend, and they really, really did a good job pointing out what's happening with Biden right now in terms of he's being prosecuted, or they had a special investigator go in and take a look at what's happening with the classified files. But you know what? Let me show you this clip, and then I'll jump in and talk more about it. Take a look. Let me take off the audio before.
Welcome to Meet the Press Now. I'm Yamisha Sender on a fiery day here in Washington today. Now, former Special Counsel Robert Hur defended his report on President Biden's handling of classified documents. In more than 4 hours of testimony before the House Judiciary Committee, Hur defended his decision not to recommend charges against the president. He also defended his report's assessment of President Biden's memory.
The evidence and the president himself put his memory squarely at issue. We interviewed the president and asked him about his recorded statement. Quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," end quote. He told us that he didn't remember saying that to his ghostwriter. He also said he didn't remember finding any classified material in his home after his vice presidency. My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair. Most importantly, what I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe.
You know, that was good that that doctor was honest, or that investigator was honest with his report, and he really put it out there and let everybody else judge. But at least he was honest.
Explain to the Attorney General my decision and the reasons for it. That's what I was required to do.
The hearing came just hours after the Justice Department released the transcript of the special counsel's interview with the president. Democrats accused her of weaponizing the interview for political purposes by characterizing the president as a, quote, elderly man with a poor memory.
You could have written your report with comments about his specific recollection as to documents or a set of documents, but you chose a general pejorative reference to the president. You understood when you made that decision, didn't you, Mr. Hur, that you would ignite a political firestorm with that language, didn't you?
Congressman, politics played no part whatsoever in my investigative steps.
Are you a member of the Federalist Society?
I am not a member of the Federalist Society.
But you are a Republican, though, aren't you?
I am a registered Republican.
Yes, sir. And you're doing everything you can do to get President Trump reelected so that you can get appointed as a federal judge or perhaps to another position in the Department of Justice. Isn't that correct?
Congressman, I have no such aspirations, I can assure you, and I can tell you that partisan politics had no place whatsoever in my work.
Like, the guy was honest, and being honest is now wrong. Like, you're being attacked now for being honest. Politics is crazy.
It had no place in the investigative steps that I took. It had no place in the decision that I made. and it had no place in a single word of my report.
So this lengthy, expensive, and independent investigation resulted in a complete exoneration of President Joe Biden.
I need to go back and make sure that I take note of the word that you used, exoneration. That is not a
Mr.
word
Hur,
that
I'm
you
going to
use in the report.
continue with
That's
my
not part of my
questions.
task as a
I'm going to
prosecutor.
continue with my
The
questions. I
judgment
know
that
that the
received,
term,
that I ultimately reached
I
relates
know
to
that the
whether
term,
sufficient evidence existed such that the
you
likely
didn't,
outcome
you
would be a
exonerated him.
conviction.
Shout out to that doctor for making it clear that he was not exonerated. That takes courage right there, what he did. Wow.
I know
I
that
did
the
not
term
exonerate him.
willful
Let me know what you think. Comment down below.
That word does not appear in
retention
the
has a,
report, Congresswoman.
Mr. Hur, it's my time.
Hur, though, also faced criticism from Republicans who were angry he did not recommend the president face criminal charges as a result of his investigation.
You had the same facts, and the individual that you were investigating was 65 and had a good memory. Do you reach the same conclusion?
Congressman, as I responded earlier to a question along these lines, I am not here to entertain hypotheticals about facts or circumstances that may be different. What I did was assess the evidence and the facts that I obtained in this investigation and make a judgment based on this set of evidence.
Today's hearing highlights the challenges facing the DOJ. It's an election year in which the sitting president stands accused of mishandling classified documents, even if it doesn't rise to the level of criminality. And the presumptive Republican nominee, a former president himself, is facing federal charges for not only possessing classified documents, but also allegedly lying about it.
But you know, Biden is a sitting president, and there are rules like you cannot prosecute a sitting president. So he's like exonerated from a lot of laws and a lot of rules. Like you cannot lock up the sitting president. So I think because of that, maybe charges are not being brought. And Trump is not the sitting president, and they're trying to like send him to jail for like 100 years or whatever it is. Comment down below, what do you think about this? Because again, given that Biden is the sitting president, he cannot be prosecuted. So I don't expect any charges to be brought on.
To get us started today, I'm joined by NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles, NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memley, NBC News legal analyst and former U.S. attorney and senior FBI official Chuck Rosenberg. So, Ryan.
You know what? Let me pause it right there because my internet doesn't seem to be working like it's supposed to be. Let me switch it up. So like I said, you cannot just prosecute a sitting president. He actually is exonerated from a lot of rules, a lot of laws, and he's not going to go to jail. And maybe that's one of the reasons why Biden's trying to stay in office, because otherwise he can't be prosecuted. So because of that, I think the doctor did a very courageous thing and not prosecuting the president. But you know who I like to listen to? Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters always has good points of view that I chose blatant and they're just out there. Let me share a clip that I got here from Jesse Waters. And again, please comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation with the president?
Fox News alert. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and the polls just closed in Mississippi. And Fox News has projected that President Joe Biden has secured the delegates required to become the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. Biden didn't have any challengers, but he's lost a handful of delegates to the uncommitted option. He also lost another 3 delegates to Jason Palmer, an entrepreneur from Maryland who won American Samoa. On the Republican side, Donald Trump projected to easily win Georgia. He's also expected to clinch his party's nomination later tonight, so stay with Fox for the latest results. Now, the president's state of mind was the center of attention in Washington today. The Justice Department finally releasing the highly anticipated transcripts of Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur, who testified this morning, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, 5 hours of Biden unscripted. Our producers spent all day reading this, and now we understand what Robert Hur meant when he called Biden painfully slow. The transcripts confirm that Biden didn't remember when his son died, when he was vice president, or when Trump was elected. Biden had to be reminded multiple times throughout his interview what a fax machine was. And whenever he was redirected to focus on the question at hand, he'd launch into wacky stories weirder than corn pop. For instance, when the special counsel asked why he moved classified documents from the Naval Observatory, Biden claimed he'd won an international torts competition in law school, and then shared a story of a 23-year-old who was wearing the wrong pants, wrong jeans when a spark caught fire, and
He sounds like an old man telling a story. Definitely feel bad for him, but I'm not even going to blame him. I'm going to blame his handlers who are not taking over, just telling him to step aside. Thank you, sir. You've done a great job, but we need to move on. This man is old. And I can't believe the media is not being forward with us and letting us know that this man is senile.
Lost one of his testicles. Biden called himself a frustrated architect who went to Mongolia, where he shot bow and arrows with sumo wrestlers. Biden said he had great aim and put everyone in Mongolia to shame. At one point, Biden asked Special Counsel Hur if he saw, quote, risque pictures of my wife in a bathing suit, which you probably did. She's beautiful. When asked about his classified documents in the garage, Biden bragged he went on Leno with his Corvette and started making car noises. Quote, all you do is you take your foot off the brake and vroom, vroom. Joe Biden complained that the Secret Service was driving him crazy because they wouldn't let him drive. So Biden would drive back and forth in his own driveway. Quote, I'd get it to the bottom of the driveway, tack it up to about $4,000 and vroom, vroom.
Again, he doesn't even know how to use words to express his thoughts. Making sound, oh my God. And I can't believe people are still going to vote for this guy. So I'm just got to be verbal on live and just put it out there that this is unbelievable. Let's all be honest with ourselves. This is not a guy that should not be in power of the strongest country on earth.
Yeah, the president making more car noises. Now, if you were a prosecutor conducting a deposition, you're asking about highly sensitive national security secrets, and the subject starts revving his engine and pretending to hit the clutch, you know he's not fit to stand trial. This is why the White House won't release the audio tapes. The president's going, vroom, vroom, and asking, when was I vice president again? Robert Hur had to assess the president's mental state because his mental state would determine whether or not he willfully retained classified documents. What was going on through the president's mind or what wasn't going on through the president's mind was important, and Hur defended it.
My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair. Most importantly, what I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe. I did not sanitize my explanation, nor did I disparage the president unfairly.
But Democrats didn't want to hear about the president.
Shout out to Robert Hur. Again, shout out for being honest and not putting his name on the line. Just being honest. What's going on?
His hazy memory. Jamie Raskin used his time to question your memory.
My friends, this is a memory test. But it's not a memory test for President Biden. It's a memory test for all of America. Do we remember fascism? Do we remember Nazism? Do you remember communism and totalitarianism? They have one more reason to celebrate Donald Trump and his cult followers.
You know what? Why he got to bring up Donald Trump? We're in the middle of talking about Biden, his report, his investigation. What does Trump got to do with this? I really hated the fact that they brought up, they should just shut him down and say, why are you talking about Trump? Got nothing to do with this investigation.
Who've completely lost their way.
But you know what? Do you think Trump got something to do with this investigation? Comment below. Let's all be verbal. Let's talk about this because I'm shocked.
They're looking for high crimes and misdemeanors. Now they appoint themselves amateur memory specialists, and that's what they pounce on the president of the United States about. America faces a choice between democracy and tyranny.
So for Democrats, today was about fascists pouncing on Corvette lovers. They tried to rewrite the whole report, but failed.
Did you have any reason to believe that President Biden lied to you?
I do address in my report one response the president gave to a question that we posed to him that we deemed to be not credible.
Was it clear he didn't lie?
I'm sorry, Congressman.
The report is clear that he didn't lie, or that he caused the staff to lie to you, and that he didn't cause the staff to lie to you. Your report is clear on that. You agree that?
No. Democrats even claiming Hur exonerated Biden when he didn't.
So this lengthy, expensive, and independent investigation resulted in a complete exoneration of President Joe Biden.
I need to go back and make sure that I take note of a word that you use, exoneration. That is not a word that
I'm going to continue with my questions. I'm going to continue with my questions. I know that the term
I ultimately reached.
I know that
whether
the term
sufficient evidence existed such that the likely outcome
you exonerated
a conviction.
I know that the term willful retention has a Mr. Hur, it's my time.
You see what they try to do? Try to shut him down so he doesn't talk and he doesn't say the obvious. So shout out again to Robert Hur for talking, even when she's trying to cut him off. That just takes bravery. Just being honest about the report and no, he's not exonerated. My God, that was a good answer.
Thank you.
Today's testimony proved that Biden, for 40 years, spread classified documents across 3 states in 6 unsecured locations after being warned repeatedly.
Mr. Hur, classified documents were found at the Penn Biden Center.
That's correct.
They were found in President Biden's garage
In Wilmington, Delaware, yes.
and in his basement den,
Also in the same home, yes.
and his main floor office,
Correct.
and his 3rd floor den,
Correct.
at the University of Delaware,
Correct.
and at the Biden Institute.
Correct.
Is it accurate to
Wow. Amazing. What's going on? Like, sacrifice, what is it called? Official documents seem not to be official. They're like all over the place.
quote your report that classified documents were found in, quote, badly damaged boxes in his garage near a collapsed dog crate, a dog bed, a Zappos box, and an empty bucket? Is that correct?
Those words do appear in the report.
Biden even told her his garage was such a mess, he moved boxes around himself, so his Corvette had more room. The president admitted, there was a kid who used to help me take care of my Corvette, but didn't work for me. So besides Hunter and his Chinese assistant zipping in and out of Biden's garage, there were kids working on Biden's cars. And Primetime can conclusively report tonight that mysterious mechanics and spies did not, I repeat, did not have full access to Trump's documents in Mar-a-Lago for decades. Special Counsel Hur testified that Biden admitted he knew he had classified documents and that he wanted to keep them for posterity's sake, to burnish his image as a world leader. Hur also testified Biden hoarded classified documents to write a book, a lucrative deal worth $8 million.
Joe Biden had 8 million reasons to break the rules, took classified information and shared it with the guy who was writing the book. That's why he did. He knew the rules, but he broke them for $8 million in a book advance. It wasn't just $8 million. It was also his ego. Pride and money is why he knowingly violated the rules. The oldest motives in the book, pride and money.
So pride and profit, you got motive. The misconduct's plain as day. And there was an attempt to cover it up. The same month, Biden opens an investigation into Trump's handling of classified documents. He dispatches his team to gather all of the classified documents that he'd been stashing. Then Biden's team waits a year and a half to announce they'd found classified documents at the Penn Biden Center. An 18-month mop-up job at your house while you raid your opponent's house. That's not cooperating with investigators. In fact, the second they heard a special counsel had been appointed, Biden's ghostwriter deleted evidence.
Ghostwriter has recordings of Biden making admissions of crimes. He then learns that you've been appointed. He then deletes the information that is the evidence, and you don't charge him.
That is reflected in the report. One of the things that Mr. Zwanitzer did not delete was transcripts of the recordings that he had created that included inculpatory evidence relating to Mr. Biden.
Oh, so if you destroy some evidence but not other evidence, that somehow absolves you of the evidence you destroy? Like, here's what I see. Zwanniger should have been charged, wasn't. Biden and Trump should have been treated equally. They weren't. And that is the double standard that I think a lot of Americans are concerned about.
In the last 3 elections, 3 candidates have been accused of mishandling documents: Hillary, Biden, and Trump. And only one's been charged. The only one who was president with declassification authority. The other 2 risked national security for pride and profit, got caught, destroyed evidence, and then lost their memories. But is Biden playing dumb or just dumb?
I would not be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury that that intent element had been
Right,
met.
but the reason you have that doubt is the senile cooperator theory. The fact that Joe Biden is so inept in responding that you can't prove the intent, which again, I don't quibble with that conclusion, but it's frustrating to be like, oh, well, this guy's not getting treated the same way as Trump because the elevator's not going to the top floor, so we can't prove intent. While at the same time, Biden goes out there at the White House and says, well, you know, he just blatantly lies. And what I'm trying to figure out is whether or not Biden's lying because he's still so senile, he hasn't read your report, or whether it's a little craftier and a little more devious and perhaps a little more intentional than we might otherwise think.
Yeah, so prosecutors are claiming Biden's too forgetful to be prosecuted, but Trump's sharp enough to stand trial. That's not how the law works.
We have a former vice president who will not suffer any
He said that's not how the law works. This is crazy.
consequences for all of these actions, all because we say, well, he's a well-meaning, forgetful old man. You know, if you were kind of a well-meaning, forgetful old man that was driving a car and you forgot what you were doing a little bit and you hit somebody and killed them, I believe you'd be responsible. The law must apply.
Now, the real reason Hur didn't charge Biden is because he didn't think he'd get a conviction. But it's not why, it's where. Hur didn't think he could get Biden convicted in D.C., and that's where the jury would be. Outside of D.C., fair jury, sure. But Biden's poor mental state let him escape justice, which is forcing the media to argue that Biden's competent enough to be president, but not competent enough to stand trial.
But like I said, you can't lock up a current president. And it's his lawyers or his justice. So yeah, like he said, in DC, he's not going to get arrested.
you have this image of this poor guy sitting on a park bench, you know, feeding the birds. That's not who Joe Biden is.
He really wasn't carrying their water. I think you've shown the work on the old man sitting on the bench feeding the pigeons.
It comes after Joe Biden just had a very successful, effective State of the Union address. So nobody who saw him on that night is going to think of him as Gloria said, a kindly old man sitting on a park bench feeding the pigeons.
The president sitting on a park bench feeding the pigeons is what saved Democrats from nominating Kamala. The White House releasing a statement after this hearing today saying, vroom, vroom. House Speaker Mike Johnson joins me now. Do you think the president is mentally fit?
Jesse, I've spent a little bit of time with him, and I'm sad to tell you that I don't think he is. And the reason I'm sad is because we are projecting weakness on the world stage. All of our adversaries around the world can see and follow exactly what you and I and the American people are. We have a weak president, and that's why our enemies are acting so provocatively right now. This is not a game. It's really not a laughing matter. It's a dangerous situation, and this election in November can't get here soon enough.
When you say you spent time with the president and you've determined in your...
I'm a little bit embarrassed that there are people, general public, that are still trying to defend this man. There is nothing to defend here. In my opinion, this man is compromised.
Your opinion that he's not mentally fit enough to be president. What do you mean? What did you see?
I don't mean to be uncharitable here. Look, we respect the office, right? And people can't change how they age. Everybody ages differently. I'm just telling you that President Biden is not on his A game. Can I say it that way? I mean, he's in person. He's rather slow, and obviously his staff handles him very carefully. For more than 6 weeks, I requested a meeting with the president one-on-one. The Speaker of the House and the President of the United States should be able to have a meeting. I needed to talk to him about very serious classified matters regarding national security, and of course the border as well. They couldn't arrange that meeting. They wouldn't arrange that meeting. When he finally relented, he invited 5 others to join us. So, you know, there was the Vice President was there, and Chuck Schumer, and Mitch McConnell, and Hakeem Jeffries. I think that these two offices, the persons who hold these two offices, need to be able to communicate more regularly, and that's been difficult with this president. And frankly, I think it's because they don't want to put me in a room with him alone. They're maybe afraid of what he might say if he goes off script. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. These are just the facts that everybody can see.
Well, we saw you at the State of the Union trying to hold back some emotion. It looks like you're very emotional that night. What's it like to be up there sitting next to Kamala Harris and listening to Joe Biden say what Joe Biden says?
Listen, it was a heavily partisan, vitriolic campaign speech. That's not what a State of the Union address is supposed to be. Over history, you know, presidents have been conciliatory. They've had at least segments in the speech that were bipartisan, where everyone can stand together and give an ovation for America.
You know, one thing that he applauded that I didn't like was funding for Ukraine. I wonder, why is it that both Republican and Democrats applaud funding for Ukraine? Like, this is the biggest policy scheme going on. So I want to know who's getting paid on the back end for this. That's the only thing I didn't like about the speaker.
America and American values. There was none of that in that speech. It was so frustrating to have to sit behind him and just take that, you know. And I had emphasized decorum for our side, emphasizing that, hey, as the Republicans, we're for order and not chaos. We're the rule of law team. We need to show it. And largely everybody complied with that. But it was very difficult not to show on my face my disdain for what he was saying. It was full of untruths, and it was hyper-partisan, and that was not the place for it. It was very disappointing.
What's it like to sit next to Kamala? Did you guys exchange pleasantries throughout the evening?
We did. You know, it's an awkward setting for whomever is sitting there. And I always try to make nice and make conversation. And look, again, I don't have anything personally against the president or the vice president, but our policies are worlds apart. And what I'm concerned about is he didn't say a single word in that speech really about what he would do to fix the border crisis, this catastrophe that he has created, a humanitarian catastrophe, national security catastrophe. Nothing. It took him 41 minutes to mention the border in that speech. He talked about the size of Snicker bars as a higher priority. You know, I mean, it was not anything that we could applaud or go along with. And that's the problem.
I did not have Snickers coming up in the State of the Union, but stick with us because we have a Fox News alert. The Associated Press now projecting that President Donald Trump will win the Republican primary in Mississippi, bringing him one step closer to clinching the Republican nomination, which we expect to happen later tonight as the delegate.
I mean, okay, yes, we do have a two-party system, right? We got Republicans and we got Democrats. But I think people need to look past the party system. Don't just vote because I'm a Republican, I'm going to vote Republican, or because I'm a Democrat, I'm going to vote Democrat. And I think people just got to look at their self-interest and what's best for them and the reality of things. Because I think showing that Biden got mental health issues, it's just the reality of things. And a lot could be said both about Trump and Biden. But I think what Biden is going through is a little bit more scary. Only because this is putting the country in like a big threat. The fact that the main leader is cognitively or got brain problem. I keep saying the word cognitively cognitive problems. But the fact that the main leader of the country got brain problem, I think it's a bigger issue than Trump doesn't really know how to speak properly. And I think he's working on it. And I hope Trump is able to, or when he starts campaigning like on TV and everywhere, he just starts addressing people a little bit better so that people can see the change and see that, you know what, he's not a pretty talker, but he makes a point. So let's keep listening to this.
Gets continue to roll in. Your reaction to former President Donald Trump, Speaker, moving very quickly to securing this nomination?
We are delighted to have him officially as the nominee. I think this is a classic matchup. I think that President Trump is going to mop the floor with Joe Biden, and I cannot wait until the debate. Are they going to allow Joe Biden to debate Donald Trump? It will be a beautiful thing to behold.
And I thought it was a normal thing to debate. Like, it just happens. Every time you got a candidate, a Republican and a Democrat, they go on stage and they debate their issues. I just thought it happens. And I can't believe now it's being debated whether it should happen or not. I mean, Trump skipped all the debates, but that's because he secured the Republican side. When it comes to the country securing a president, they should have a debate. I'm surprised that they're debating it. So with that said, I think it should happen. Comment below. What do you think?
But count me as a skeptic that the Democrats are going to allow that. I don't think they would put him on the stage with him.
All right. Now, I had to ask you something. We were going through a couple weeks of this stuff that is jammed into these spending bills that I know just passed last Friday. We have $500,000 for anti-racist oyster reefs. We have $15 million to put ankle monitors on cows, and $850,000 for bus stop equity in California. Speaker, when are we going to get the spending under control?
Welcome to the Senate Democrat majority. This is the problem when you have divided government. Right now, we have control of only 1/3 of 1/2 of the federal government, and we have the smallest margin in U.S. history. We have a 2-vote margin in the House, and in a week, it'll go down to a 1-vote margin for our House Republican majority. When you have a situation like that, you're not going to get appropriations bills that you like, and we have fought tooth and nail. The reason the FY24, the fiscal year 24 bills are so late is because we've been fighting them tooth and nail to take this nonsense out of federal spending. But it's like turning an aircraft carrier. We're going to get there, Jesse. We need a larger majority, and everybody can help us at growthemajority.com.
Okay, because when I see anti-racist oyster reefs for $500,000, I start rolling my eyes like Mike Johnson at the end of a speech. I don't want to do that anymore. Speaker, thanks for joining Jesse Waters.
Again, the way that I see it is the United States is the biggest company on earth. You're not supposed to look at government as a company, but they got funding. They got money coming in. They got taxpayer money coming in. And the people deciding what to do with that taxpayer money is ridiculous. Instead of investing it, because everybody has a different idea, right? So we all can get what we want. But there's certain things that should just be obvious, like the border. We don't know anything about the border. It's a federal government thing. They should put a lot of money into that. It really sucks or it hurts whenever they send money to like Ukraine or another country to help them. Like, we don't have problems. And they kind of suck that one person had to die. And that's why they keep running in the news everywhere, how the death of an individual is part of the reason why we got to close the border. But, you know, that's just one of many things or many reasons why we got to close the border. So it's 1:03. I managed to be on since 12:30. The goal is to go to online from 12 to 1 o'clock and just to talk, to give you guys my opinion. And let me repeat, my name is Noel, battling MS, and this is one of the ways of me battling this problem. See, everybody has a little bit of a problem. My problem is I got to talk. I got to move. I got to move my fingers and move my voice and my face and everything, because you miss things when you lose it. So before I lose my voice and my ability to move, because with MS, you just start to decline and start to lose abilities. Let me make use of it. And thank you if you stuck around, still watching. Subscribe. I'm up to 1,613. Thank you for the new subscribers, and I want to keep bringing you guys news. I'm going to try to log in every day between 12 and 1 and do 1 hour of me talking and presenting news and information. I do a lot of politics because I think politics affects everybody. And so when something new comes on, it's on us to talk about it, right? We pay taxes, and these are our politicians. This is how this democracy works. We got to let our opinions be known, because otherwise, if we don't talk about it, they believe that we don't care. So we have to be verbal. We have to give our opinion about what's happening. Besides politics, there's also entertainment. Right now, Jake Paul is going to be fighting Mike Tyson. There you go. That's a little bit of entertainment. Something to take our minds off of things. What else is going on? John Cena on the Oscars. But nobody watches the Oscars anymore. So they had John Cena come out naked. So that could go viral and people could talk about it. Because otherwise, why would anybody talk about the Oscars? A bunch of movies that people don't even see. So irrelevant to what's going on. So having John Cena coming out naked sort of makes sense. But you're hearing a lot of people saying how dehumanizing it is. How it's just belittling men. And at a point where men need to like be more proactive. You know? We have women and we have men. No in between. Right now, the left are working really, really hard to talk about there's more than two sexes. And they're bringing, what's it called? Nick Volmady? Oh, I forgot the guy's name from Budweiser. That is really a boy, but being celebrated for being a powerful woman. Although, technically, it's a man. So that's disgusting. Here is the clip. Let me see if I can find of John Cena. Let me see if I could share that clip of John Cena.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Costume design by Jacqueline West. Napoleon. Costume design by Janty Yates and Dave Crossman. Oppenheimer. Costume
So there's a clip of them putting clothes for John Cena to present after he walked all the way there naked. So that was a joke of the night. I guess it's a viral video that, again, the Oscars doing anything to go viral. Just like the Will Smith slap. Now it's coming out like it's fake, and they did that just to go viral. So I'm starting to believe it. You know, you got to do anything that you can to get the audience attention, especially nowadays with social media. Getting people's attention is very important. With Jake Paul, here, let me share this clip. Jake Paul is going to be fighting Mike Tyson. I think, see, I'm older. I'm 44. A fan of Mike Tyson in his prime when he was on top of the world. Let me see if I can run the clip while I talk.
I'm going to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Do it.
Oh, my God. No way.
What if he
eats your ear? Better say the sorry.
I can't believe that was Nina's first question. What if he eats your ear?
I don't give a fuck if you think he's 55 years old. That guy will.
So he's going to be fighting Mike Tyson on Netflix. I didn't even know Netflix had fights. I never knew that Netflix actually had boxing fights on. So he's making a lot of money. That's the new thing when it comes to, again, getting your attention. John Cena is not a boxer, although he fights a lot of people who don't box, a lot of unprofessionals. And now fighting Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson is 55. God bless Mike Tyson. That he's able to get on the ring at that age. That's scary.
On July 20th in Texas, which you can stream live on Netflix. This comes off the back of Jake's win last weekend, bringing his professional boxing record to 9-1. That's right, Jake Paul has only ever lost one boxing fight, which was to Tommy Fury, arguably the only real boxer he's ever fought. Go figure. And so now that Jake's fought a bunch of cab drivers, plumbers, and gardeners, and he's stat-padded his way to a respectable boxing record, he's decided to put his pursuit of a real boxing career on hold while he cashes in on this circus of an event.
So Saturday, July 20th. That means Mike Tyson got to be training every day for this. And Jake Paul also. And AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's going to be a fight. The only person I feel bad for is Mike Tyson, because at 55 to get on the ring and fight a young man, that's insane. You know, because people could talk about a punch in the face until they get punched in the face. That's when you realize how serious. So, shout out to Mike Tyson. I'm a big fan, and again, fighting for the money. Although I don't think Mike Tyson needs the money. The guy's like super rich, and he got people that handle his money. So it's kind of like, why is he doing this when he doesn't really need the money like that? In my opinion. But comment below, what do you think? What kind of a money grab is this? All right, let me get back to. All right, so I'm going to keep trying to bring you guys more videos. I'm trying to include this in my live.
Verbal or life.
Subscribe. Noel over here, being verbal on life, battling MS, and fighting all the way to the end. Trick is not to give up. That's a trick to life. I should share a story. How the hell did I get here? I reached retirement. I actually went ahead and worked for 18 years, survived. I would try to make it to 20 years. I tried to work for 20 years, but didn't make it. It was a state job, which means not making a lot of money, but just doing it, you know, just to move ahead in life and not just sit at home doing nothing. Just like this channel. This channel is me at home, but doing something. The worst thing you could do in life is nothing. I don't know how some people do it, but hey, it's all what you like to do, what you want to do. For me, doing nothing is not it. So what time is it? It's 1:11. I'm going to try to come online and try to do a show between 12 and 1 every day. 12 and 1, the statistics show that that's the best time so that people can watch the show. And then just me giving you guys information about what's going on, what's trending online. I try to put what's trending with Robert Hur, the guy trying to take down Biden. No, the politician. He's a doctor. The doctor that actually evaluated Biden to see if he could be tried. And that's politics. The other one was the girl that's being attacked for not being girly enough. I didn't get a chance to talk enough about that. Let me see if I can put it here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that controversy is based on what Hannah Barron likes to do, which Hannah Barron likes to hunt. She likes to, let's go ahead and zoom in here. She likes to hunt. She likes to go get catfish, like gigantic ones like this, and catch them.
She's amazing for catching fishes. Wow.
With her hands. Which, if you ask me, is pretty freaking awesome. I'm from the country. My wife is a farm girl, rode horses in horse shows, trained up horses. I think this kind of stuff is incredibly impressive.
You see, she's not following along. She's too pretty to be doing that. She's too beautiful to be doing that. So that's why it bothers a lot of people on the left. That that's like considered to be like manly. All of that.
Quite frankly, and awesome. Hannah Barron is somebody who loves hunting, loves fishing. There she is. Has 1.5 million followers because obviously her followers love that as well. Loves the Second Amendment right here. Actually went to SHOT Show this year and, well, filmed herself being impressed by and experiencing the firearm industry firsthand.
About 2 or 3 more energy drinks and we'll really get this thing cracked up for you.
Everyone rejects me, even in my best dreams. And I've come to realize I can see it in your eyes. You're about to get.
You see her accent? She had the coolest accent on earth. She's being herself, not even trying. I'm going to mute the audio because I don't want to get banned. But
Gentlemen,
it's nice a girl being herself. And she already got, like what he said, 1 point something million followers.
of course, found anything offensive or wrong about her content. She seems to be just one of these classic, wilderness influencers, hunting influencers, real American country chick kind of stuff, right? Okay, that's totally rad. And like sincerely, nothing looks more fun. As a guy who's from the country, raised on and worked on farms. My wife raised on and worked on farms.
I don't know. I think most guys like that. Girls who are themselves. And this looks amazing. She's not embarrassed at all for doing none of this crazy.
This account, Samira, who's a foreign policy analyst, ladies and gentlemen, says this accent needs to be illegal and women should be banned from doing manual labor like this. There is nothing feminine about American women. American women are literally men, which is, of course, why I asked the question at the beginning of the video. Literally men. What is the offending video? Well, let's play it.
Good morning, y'all. Quick update on the house because I've been pretty terrible about giving y'all these. We took a little break for noodling season and to put out boxes. Now that it's dried in, we can do it at our own pace. But here she is. We're going to stain all that wood a darker brown. And the shutters, when we get that on, we'll have handrails, of course. There's the carport over there.
You gotta love her accent. Amazing.
All these trusses are going to be exposed, and we're going to have old tin in the ceiling. Got Daddy and Paul up there working on a wall we're going to put up for the upstairs office. And we got Def Leppard playing in the background, of course. Back porch.
Anyway, she looks amazing, in my opinion. I don't know why they're coming after her. Well, I said before, it's because she's not following protocol, acting all girly. She's just being herself, and that's something that they don't like. When you're yourself. I love the fact when she said, build your own box. Don't try to jump into somebody else's box or be like somebody else. That makes a lot of sense to me. So, and what was her response to this?
And fillet that catfish and eat catfish by herself.
Listen to her respond.
What she has to say.
Good morning, y'all. I don't have a Twitter. I did at one point, but my account got removed for whatever reason, and I just hadn't got around to making another account. But apparently I'm trending on Twitter right now because some girl, hey Meryl, some girl said that my accent should be illegal. Women shouldn't do manual labor. Oh, what else did she say? American women are basically men, and she just said that I was not feminine. Ooh. And I would tell y'all this girl's name, but I can't remember it because I don't have a clue who she is. So that should tell you how relevant this person is. But I just think it's hilarious because I grew up as the weird kid in high school who hunted and fished too much because back then it wasn't cool for women to hunt or fish or the whole country lifestyle. And I'm so proud of all the women in the outdoors now who are making that more cool or popular. So proud of us. I think we're doing great. But I've been helping Dad build houses since I was 15. When I was a senior in high school, I taught kids how to weld in ag class. So I've done not manual labor. When I think of manual labor, I think of what my dad does. I'm nowhere near that. I just help as much as I can, and I try. And it's fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of blue-collar women out there who are also feminine. And so I just think that you should embrace your own individuality, you should be yourself, and don't worry about what anybody else said because these folks talking about me and think they're going to offend me, that ship sailed a long time ago. I've been getting picked on my whole life. I grew up around men. Well, so don't be scared to build your own box and don't try to fit in anybody else's. Be your own person and you'll be happier in the long run because of that. And don't worry about what anybody else has to say. Hope y'all have a good one.
That was pretty good. I like that message. You got to give her props. She's 100%. You got to do your own thing. Like me building this channel, personally, just in connecting with that message, a lot of people told me not to do it. You can't talk. Don't express yourself. Your points of views are way off, so don't share them with nobody. So because people told me not to talk, I think that's the worst thing to tell somebody or to suggest to somebody, like to keep your thoughts to yourself. I mean, once you lose the ability to talk, that's when you realize, oh man, I should have spoken a little bit more. I should have been more outspoken. I think me being diagnosed with this MS, it woke me up to the reality that, dude, your time is limited. So express yourself and help others express themselves. I'm always telling people to comment below. Express yourself. Just say what you think and be honest. A lot of people are going to hate. At the same time, a lot of people are going to say, cool, I like it. I like what he says. I like how he talks. Let me subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead. Let's make a wave here. Jump in, subscribe, and let's get this channel to grow. I think it's possible. I think it's going to happen. So that belief helps me come on and talk every day and just share different stories and different videos. With that, I've been on now for 45 minutes. See, if I could talk for an hour, I'll be pretty impressed of myself that I was able to build up the energy to talk for an hour. It's not that easy, especially somebody like me. Just talking is a struggle for me, you know? And one thing that I try to do is try to speak fast because I notice, I don't know if the viewers are noticing it, that I talk slow. You know, this whole MS is affecting just me thinking and me talking, me communicating, me trying to get people on board to come on and just be honest. With that said, so 46 minutes on here. I think I'm going to get out of here. So today I didn't get any comments. Yesterday somebody commented and said for me to stop being political because I devise people, right? Religion and politics are two things that you don't want to talk. Religion, politics, and money are, I think, the three topics that you shouldn't discuss because people are triggered and that's how you lose people. But I don't think so. It's good to share opinions and points of views, especially in those three areas, because like, what are we doing? I think I shared a story yesterday about money, how I went ahead and borrowed money. It's a no, like you don't lend money and you don't borrow money. But I went ahead and broke that rule because I was confident in myself and broke the rule and borrowed money. And of course, paid it back. To me, that goes with my personal reputation. I don't think I'm good knowing that I borrowed money and always paid it back. There's not a single human being out there that I owe money to. So you got to find individuals who are like that, who are trustworthy. Not that many, but there are some. And that was a story I shared yesterday, how I borrowed some money and paid it back. Crazy. Because we all know a loan is a gift. A gift is technically not a gift. You know, they usually expect something back. But a loan is a gift. With that said, I think I'm going to get out of here. I want to edit some videos and put up a video. One that I did yesterday. I want to edit it not just as a live stream, but as a video. Let me give it a try. It's not that easy because it requires me sitting down and making it work. On my own. I don't have like a production team that puts it together. I got to put it together. With that said, let me get out of here. Peace.
Verbal or life.